Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I'm sitting here with the recovering Democrat, Donovan Sadiq. And it is Free Flow Friday, where we are going to talk about everything. Well, not everything, but most things. I'm sitting here with the recovering Democrat, Donovan Sadiq. And it is Free Flow Friday, where we are going to.
Do you hear that feedback? Did you hear that?
And somehow it popped up on my Facebook. I don't know how, but it did.
Did you hear that?
Listen, I'm in Facebook jail. I cannot post, and somehow it popped up on my Facebook. I don't know how.
Do you have something open?
Listen, hold on. Take over for a second.
Okay, Demetra's having technical issues. She has something open in her feed, so she's got to fix that. So she's got to close it. And you see the discernment and wonderment as she figured it out. So
I had my YouTube open. That's what happened. So it started on YouTube. Oops. So anyway, yeah. So as I was saying, welcome to Free Flow Friday. Sorry about that. Where we talk about a lot of things that happen throughout the week because we can't cover it all. But you guys know of things that have transpired throughout the week. So please put them in the comment section if you guys want to talk about something. But as you guys can see, we're going to talk about Miss Sha'carri Richardson. And the unfortunate situation she finds herself in. We also want to talk about that of Felicia Rashad and her support of Bill Cosby. But as I was saying, I'm in Facebook jail. I cannot post. I can't go live. I can do everything else. They won't let me go live due to a post that I made over 2 years ago. Actually, the date was March 11, 2019. It was a post of Mickey Mouse. It says, it goes, I put my fingers into my eyes. And basically it was in response to, I made a comment or something that somebody posted something I didn't want to see. And so basically it was Mickey Mouse gouging his eyes out and, you know, some blood running through his eyes. And they thought that I might be suicidal. And so they directed me to a page where I could get help. But they also said that I was in Facebook jail for 30 days and I couldn't post. So anyway, whatever. So Donovan, what say you before we get started? Hello, YouTube. You guys are on the other side of the conversation, and I told people from Facebook to come on over. So what's going on with you?
Yes, you guys, welcome to Free Flow Fridays, where we talk about anything that's on your mind and what has actually been happening during the week. Glad to guys have you here. Do us a favor. Please like, share, and subscribe on your platforms and get this out since Demetra K, because we use StreamYard, she can't share on the platform that she usually shares. So if you guys could do that for us, we'd really, really appreciate it. And it is hot out here as well. But let me give you guys a quick synopsis of things that come. You guys know the Trump folks have been indicted. The Trump criminal crime family has been indicted, and they're not denying anything. The dumb sons, they're just like, oh, this, and they're trying to deflect and all this other stuff. And, you know, it is what it is. But the Sha'carri Richardson thing is going to be a good thing to talk about. A lot of people have an opinion. And I noticed as I'm looking at the different posts, I noticed that the young people, just about all of them, have the same response. Let her run. Let her run. It don't matter. Weed is legal, blah, blah, blah. I have a rebuttal to that, and Demetra's going to get to it when we get to it, and I have a rebuttal to that. So it's going to be an interesting conversation, but you guys sit back, relax, and let's get into it.
So also I have my fan on. You guys let me know if it is too loud. I'll be more than happy to turn it off. So anyway,
no, she won't.
I won't be happy, but I will turn it off. So anyway, as you guys probably heard, Sha'carri Richardson, who is a 21-year-old, she's still an Olympian, if you will. She's going to be anyway. So the Tokyo Summer Games are going to be taking place this month and then into August. And so she, a couple of weeks ago, qualified, and she was at the time deemed to be the fastest woman in America. She ran 100 yards in 10.8.
It's like a 10.8.
10.87 seconds. Where she beat that of FloJo, if you will. And so they have stripped her of her final records due to her being caught with marijuana in her system. Now, she tested positive for marijuana in her system right after she ran that race. Now, it should also be said that her mother had died right a week before she ran that race. And so she says, and this is what my daughter is telling me, that she learned that her mother passed away through a report, I guess a news report or something. So she didn't know at the time that her mother passed away. And so she, smoked marijuana, whatever. And she said she knew it was wrong, it was against the rules, and she has accepted her suspension. And that suspension will end. I think it's well, the suspension started on June 28th. So
yeah, immediately. It started immediately. So
yeah, it started June 28th. So it was a couple of days ago, and so she will actually be eligible to run the 440 relay, which is I think August 2nd or 6th or something like that. So, but the 30 days suspension will not allow her to run her individual races. So, of course, there's this heated debate as to whether it's wrong that they have suspended her due to smoking marijuana. Now, the other thing that has come up is people have brought Michael Phelps, his marijuana situation into play, but he had been done with his Olympic, because he's a swimmer. His race is 6 months prior to him getting caught with the weed. He actually got caught smoking a bong, I guess, at a party. And then he didn't have to compete for another 5 months. And so his suspension didn't, coincide with him competing. But he also lost money. A lot of endorsements were taken from him and all of that. Now he's okay now, right? But, I said that to say that he didn't go unscathed, and it's not an unfair thing that's happening to Sha'carri in regards to Michael Phelps. I just wanted to say that. But so a lot of people are saying, well, weed is legal in a lot of states, including the state that she tested positive for. In Oregon, it is legal. And so people are taking exception to that and saying, yeah, let her run. She's 21 too. I think, I said that already. So she's young. I'm not saying that's an excuse. But, people are saying it's unfair. Weed is legal. But the federation or whatever Olympic committee is saying that it's against the anti-doping policy. And so, it's a drug nevertheless. And I see that guy from Texas. How you doing? And some of y'all probably from Facebook, but I don't remember, recognize your YouTube names. But it didn't hinder her performance because, as you said, marijuana is a downer, is not a performance enhancement, if you will. But they're saying it's drugs nevertheless, and they have suspended her from performing. So I'll read you guys' comments in just a second. But Donovan, what say you? Because I know you got a lot to say.
Yes, I do have a lot to say. I like Dark Matter's comment. He said weed probably slowed her down, just like you alleged just now that it relaxes you. So yeah, it probably took it took a lot of speed from her. So it is an enhancer. We know that. But here's the thing, everybody. Okay. I agree with you. Weed is legal in the United States. Nobody is denying that in 2 states in the United States, marijuana is legal. No problem with it. Here's the problem that we keep forgetting. And this shows you how deep the colonizer has got into you guys' minds. Why do you guys think that because America has certain rules, everybody else on this globe has to go by what America goes by? Now, if this was the United States Games and track and field in the United States, I would be 10 toes down with you guys all the way. But this is an international event, okay? So that means all of these countries come together and they agree that, okay, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. My country doesn't allow marijuana. Okay, but my country does. Okay, here's what we're going to do, blah, blah. It's international, okay? And under those international rules, standards that, we keep trying to tell you, if you have no standards, you have no society. People just do what the hell they want to do. That's the difference, the way I look at it. She's under international rules. She was briefed on those rules, and big ups to her for taking the responsibility. She knows she fucked up, but this is the problem I see a lot in our community with our Black young people. They have these blessings that are above and beyond other people, And what do they screw it up with? Bullshit. Now, she's not going to run forever. God forbid she gets married, have children and stuff like that. You know, she's not going to be able to run forever. We know that, right? Instead of saying, even Richard Pryor said this, you could snort all the damn cocaine you want, but put your money in the bank and sniff the interest, right? Why is it that we always lose our blessings over some, you know what I mean? Make the money first, then do your bullshit when you're done. Like I said, big ups to her for taking the responsibility, but people got to remember, this is not an American event. So American rules do not apply in regards to what was agreed on. And that's the difference. And that's the only problem I have. Everybody seems to think, well, in America, it's legal. Let her run. It's legal. It's legal. What about in Greece? What about in Japan? What about in Korea? What about in some countries in Africa? Do you see what I'm saying? America is not the wherewithal to what the standard of whatever is. It's an international body. It is what it is. And like I said, big ups to her for taking the responsibility. I'll give her all that credit that she owned her shit. And that's the important thing.
Yes, indeed. And I'll give you guys my opinion just a little bit, but I want to get to some of these comments. And Crystal, how you doing? It says, I mean, weed isn't bad, but rules are rules. She knew the rules. Yeah, that's a good point. And Queen Candace, how you doing? Says she doesn't need our sympathy. She needs our support. She took accountability. We should keep her lifted. I absolutely agree. I'm gonna wait to give my opinion, but no, I agree with you. And hey, Renice, how you doing? And Ritzy, how you doing? And Eli, you said you got a haircut. You know, I started to get one too. That's why my hair is like this, because it's hot. And let's see here. Kaleji, I hope I said that right. How you doing? He says, greetings, family. Michael Phelps got caught for the same thing. He went unpunished. No, he actually didn't go unpunished. He was punished, and they say it more harshly than she actually was punished. So, Big Cannon, what's going on, Sunlight? How you doing? And then he says, hello, family. Damn, they got you too. Is someone on your page who's reporting you? It could be. I don't know. It was a post from over 2 years ago. I was like, huh? They thought I was actually I might be suicidal or something. I was like, okay, whatever.
All right, I turned you in. That was me.
Yeah, it probably was you. Whatever. Hey, Art, how you doing? And Sunlight says they're always effing with people. Yes, they are. Big Cannon says it's a cool 76 in Detroit. Boo, boo. No, I'm just kidding.
All that water. It's like being down in San Diego.
I'm not mad at you. Hey, Tanaya, how you doing? It says, good afternoon, Dimitri and Donovan. And the answer is no. Sha'carri took accountability for her wrong, knowing the rules. I'm sad she allowed herself to get caught up like that. And Eli says it's 64 degrees in Connecticut, so it's pretty cool. Damn.
Yeah, I used to love Pease Air Force Base in New Hampshire. Beautiful. I mean, in the summertime, nice and cool. Just nice and perfect.
Man, hey, Jalen, how you doing? He says, what she was smoking wasn't just pure marijuana. There was a chemical in that rose their suspicions, and it got her disqualified to run. Okay, there's more to the story.
Yeah, and the sad thing is, you know, her record-breaking run has been thrown out. I mean, it doesn't even count now. It's sad, but.
Mm-hmm. And hey, the Pioneer, how you doing? He says, how does marijuana enhance performance? Well, it doesn't. And so it wasn't that she was doing it when she was running. She got caught doing it after the race. So shortly after her trials, Olympic trials, she tested, because, you know, they can show up and test you whenever they want. And when they tested her, unfortunately, the THC was in her system.
Yeah. As soon as she got done, I don't know if you guys watched when she ran. I remember I watched when she ran. She did a quick interview, hugged her grandmother. She immediately had to go down the hall or wherever the thing is to go to get tested. And that's what happened, basically, right? I mean, right after the race, basically. And
the crazy part is, you know, that was a record run, if you will, record-setting run. And so, of course, you know, they was probably like, let's make sure she don't have no, you know, performance-enhancing drugs in her system.
Yeah, and guess who's going to replace her? The girl Piani or something like that. You know, she's a pretty fast white girl, but not fast enough, if you know what I mean. But that's the girl that's going to take her spot. And she placed 4th in that race.
Well, then she's going to be able to run in a 440 relay. So hopefully she, you know, does her thing there. But she's young. You know, she's young. That guy from Texas says, "Peace, everyone. How you doing?" And Dark Matter says, "We probably slowed her down. Yeah, it could. Yeah, imagine how much faster she could have ran, right?" Hey, Robin, how you doing? And let's see here. And Ronise, she says, "I think that she knew the rules, which she said, but grief is hard. Mental health is important. She will be able to come back. I think they're happy. You know, those people. Oh, absolutely, they're happy. And grief is hard. That's why I listen. I lost my mom, and I know it's hard. I mean, it's been almost 5 years. I think it's 5. Yeah, 5 years in November, and it's never easy. So I couldn't imagine being 21, just finding out that your mom died. And that race that she ran that a week after she found out her mom died. So, you know, we don't, I never tell people how to grieve. And PD Chicago, comments jumped up. Let's see here. There you go. It says, Professor Black Truth, I think that's what you said was on point a few weeks ago. And do tell. And Puleji, again, I hope I'm saying that right. It says Florence Griffin Joyner still has a world record. Sha'carri ran 10.64 in the semifinals, and the finals she ran at 10.86. So that's absolutely correct. And then the Pioneer says weed is illegal. Not in a lot of states.
32 states, it's legal.
Yeah, it's legal. And in Oregon, where she smoked it, it was legal. So, and Dark Matter, you say mistakes is where the lesson is at. Keep running, Sha'carri. Work on that start. She got, let's see, RWR in her. She came from behind and smoked them. Yes, she did. I actually saw it. I saw it the race. I was at my father's house when it took place. I was like, wow. So, no, absolutely.
Yeah, and let me say this. Just like Demetra just said that, you know, she was in Oregon where it's legal. And this is where our young people really got to start thinking, okay, in the military, when I first joined the military, it was legal to be 18 years old to have a beer and, you know, and be an adult, right? And then they changed the law here in the United States where you had to be 21. But you get stationed in another country or even another state that hadn't changed the law yet, or I think it's another country basically, because I think it was federal when they changed the whole thing over abroad. But here you are 18 years old, but you're in a country where you could be 18 and drink alcohol. So what's the conundrum there? Technically, yes, I'm legal to drink, but according to the military in the United States, am I? No, I have to go by the rules that the uniform that I wear. So in Sha'carri's situation, not saying, you know, whatever, I'm not judging her, but what I'm saying is just because it's legal and you could probably do it, you're in a sanctioned body and they told you don't do it. So we got to think about, you know, where we're at and, you know, what decision we make in regards to how that's going to apply to us.
Right. And Queen Candace, she says, do you think she's should be eligible for the race in August after her suspension? Yeah, I think she should be eligible. I mean, it's only a 30-day suspension. And, you know, like I said, Michael Phelps, his punishment was a lot more harsh than hers. So, I mean, she accepted their suspension, you know, and she says she knows she was wrong. She doesn't want any, she said empathy, but I think she meant sympathy. She doesn't want any sympathy, and she's willing to take her punishment. She said, I'm going to go and work on me and grow from this. So I think that is actually very mature.
Yeah, and another thing is too, with her doing that, it's, you know, people keep doing the Michael Phelps thing. Okay, yeah. To me, you really can't compare the two. They're two totally different situations. He lost a lot of endorsements, by the way. He lost a lot of money. So, and then in regard to her suspension, even if she did make it in time to do the 100. They've already given her slot to the white girl. So they're not going to take that back. So she lost that position for the 100, but she's still eligible for the 4x4.
Right. And Robin, and you said she'll learn from this. All she can do is pick herself up, dust herself off, and try again whenever she qualifies to compete again. Yeah, and that's exactly what I believe she's going to do. I mean, she's a very determined lady. And Dark Matter said, no pun intended. And Queen Candace says she's determined to come back stronger than ever. I believe so too. Pioneer says, good point. And Jeremy, how you doing? He says, hell yes, feel sorry for her. Marijuana is not a performance enhancer. Absolutely. It's not. But I guess it goes against, again, their anti-doping policy, and it's a drug. Whether it helps her or not, it's still a drug. It's from what their argument is. And Gloria, how you doing? He says, since you put it like that, Donovan, it makes so much sense. And Jeremy says, Caster Seminia, I hope I said that right. He said, can't run due to too much testosterone. Well, is it, I'm not trying to be funny, is it genetically or originally a man or a woman? Because I don't know, that name doesn't sound familiar. And Lawrence, how you doing? It says Olympics is a private business, just like the Masters tournament, owned by billionaires, and the governments are in on it too, watching, observing everything. That is true. And Robert says, that broke my heart when my daughter came in the room and told me that she was suspended. I was rooting for her, but it is what it is. I'm still rooting for her. Absolutely. Listen, we should still root for her. She's human. As she said, she tweeted that. She says, I am human. And people make mistakes. And I don't think we should, because we live in a cancel culture where we want to tell people, oh, that's what you get and all of that. She's human and people make mistakes. The difference between her and everybody else is she has a national platform and we don't. So people don't get to see our mistakes. So yeah, we should continue to root for her. Absolutely. And Jalen says she isn't even asking them to bend the rules for her yet. Everyone else is, because they're transforming into a racially charged decision. Right. She's like, I did it. Let me get my butt whooping, get it over with so I can go on and be great, learn my lesson from this, and I won't do it again.
See, so, and that's what I like about her being a young person, because a lot of young people won't take, a lot of people just in general won't take responsibility for anything. You did it. Just go ahead and do your time, take your suspension and go about your business. She could, you know what? I predict she's going to come back from this even bigger.
Yeah, it's those lessons that make us stronger and it makes us wiser. And that's the goal. It's called evolution. You learn from the things that, you did that weren't so good, and then you flip it around and then you do much better. So, and the pioneer says, hey, Queen, I see you finally got the super chat going. Yes, I did. I told you I was going to get it going, and thank you for holding me accountable. I appreciate that. Mr. Pirate Brain, how you doing? He says, I'm not against smoking weed, but damn, Sister Way, to blow it. Yeah, nobody's, and we just found out about it, but she already knew. I guess a Jamaican news source dropped the news that she had been suspended. But so she had already accepted. I guess she probably figured we'd find out sooner or later. But that happened the 28th, so 4 or 5 days ago. And PD Chicago, you say she need better people in her circle. Anybody telling her that it's okay to smoke weed, ambient athlete is a buffoon. Yeah, probably smoking weed with somebody. I don't know. But again, I'm not trying to make excuses for her. She's 21. Maybe she didn't realize the opportunity that she had before her, until now. Sometimes we just don't see what there is to see until we are really forced to see the bigger picture. And that's the way God and the universe works, whatever system you believe in. And I feel like it's better to make your mistakes when you're young. That way, when you're older, you can go on and do great things. But some people are making those mistakes in their 40s and 50s.
Exactly. She has so many
off the job because they smoking weed, and so she's young, so she's learning early.
And she has so many more Olympics to go to and other events and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, right, if I was her, I would use that as a motivation to just smoke the track for the next 10 years. Just say, I blew my opportunity here. They caught me, whatever. I paid my price, but now I'm mad. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you guys this. And see, that's another thing when you're in a organization where it's random testing. I was in the military, and I'm a skinny guy to begin with. I'm a very skinny guy. I would get tested. One time I got tested 6 times within the month, and they're telling me this is random. And the problem was I kept eating those muffins that were like poppy seeds. So I kept getting a false positive. And they kept thinking, oh, maybe he's just trying to hide it. Because I was young at the time. He's just trying to hide it by using a false positive so we can't tell, right? Because back in the day, the testing wasn't as good as it is today. And, knowing that, especially as an aviator, I can get tested at any time. So I'm not going to go ahead and just, dog it out like that. You know what I mean? So you got to know, what thing you operate in.
And we appreciate you not smoking drugs while you flying airplanes.
Well, they did issue me some amphetamines during Desert Storm to keep us away because we had long missions. So I was like wired, just like, yeah, I was just rocking.
And Lawrence, you say good afternoon, all good afternoon to you as well. Yeah, and he said also, let's keep in mind, even in the military, there's a ban list on all sorts of drugs that are laced that will get you kicked out. I had out processed soldiers because of this. Yeah, you know, and those are the things most people know before they take a job or do something. Hey, doing drugs is going to get you out of here.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of cases, especially in the military, Lawrence, as you know, you sign a paper that you acknowledge. And so that way, when you get popped, there's no dispute why you're leaving here, period.
Right. And that guy from Texas, she said, if she smoked after the race, it shouldn't matter. But Queen Candace, you're saying she smoked before her race. So, you know, but nevertheless, she had it in her system.
Yeah, it does matter. It doesn't matter because she could be tested at any time. So it does matter. Like I said, I'm a pilot. Would you care if I smoked before I flew the plane or after I flew the plane? This shit is still in my system.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they tested her. She had it in there. So, you know. And Mr. Pirate Brain says, I lost my mom when I was 57, and it was devastating. So I can imagine a 20-year-old. Exactly. You know, that is the first person you've ever met in your life is your mama. If that person has been with you the longest, and imagine her not being here anymore. It's woo, I tell you, you better appreciate your mama while she's here if you still got her. That's all I'm going to say. And, you know, because there's times I tell all my siblings and I can't because she's not here.
Walter acting up again.
Right. And Dark Matter says Jamaica's gonna smoke that Caucasian. Sha'carri was USA's only hope. Yeah, they'll deal with her over there. Yeah, because they said I think the next fastest person is somebody in Jamaica. So maybe that's why they dropped the story. Like, who knows? And Eli says weed is legal in New Jersey. I think it's legal in a lot of places now. They just need the other one. I don't think it's legal in Texas. No, it ain't legal in Texas. So. Be careful. And Ronise, you say we have to keep her in our history, save her achievement in our books. This is so we can tell the future children. And I have an opinion about that as well. I'm gonna get to the rest of these comments. And Jeremy says, okay, here's applying the dark matter. And Jayla says, oh Lord, I just looked at Twitter and they pulled up Sha'carri's old tweets. Now she's homophobic. But see, that's what they do. That's it. Now, mind you, this kid is 21 years old. 21, that's what they do. And I've seen a pattern of that, going to pull up people's old tweets from, 15, 10 years ago, and now they want to hold them to it. It's like there's this thing called evolution. People change, people grow, people learn, they acquire new knowledge, and they don't do and say the things they used to do. But the internet is forever, unfortunately. The Pioneer says, Queen skipped over my first comment. I said, weed is illegal federally. I only just saw that you said it's illegal. I didn't see the federally part. That's why. He says it doesn't matter what the states say or legalize. Federal law is superior. That this was a trap meant to confuse our people. So that is a good point. It is not legal federally, but state. But I guess they figure too. State has I don't know if it has the last say so, but they can do what they want. They can legalize it or not. But you're right, federally, because federally, if they do that, then they're going to have to change a whole lot of things, including letting a lot of people out of jail.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is on the federal level, though, what it is the federal government chooses not to enforce the federal law. That's the problem. They don't want to intercede in the states. But if they wanted to, they could. So if let's say there's an FBI officer and he sees you smoking weed in a park or something like that, he can arrest you on a federal charge. But they choose not to because it's just like, let the states handle that because it costs money and resources to do stuff like that.
Yes, indeed. And Jeremy says, I can't tell Phelps lost his endorsements. I see him on plenty of commercials. Well, yeah, But see, that's this other thing, too.
Yeah, years later. He got those endorsements years later. But initially, when that stuff happened, he lost all his endorsements.
I want to say, I think we should also understand that there's this thing called redemption. I mean, should a person like be screwed forever for making a mistake? That's the question I think we need to answer, right?
Well, Demetra, you know, you and that truck driver, yes, you should be condemned forever.
He should be condemned forever. Don't get me started on truck drivers, y'all. I'll never get back on topic. Young Brown 757, how you doing? He says it's not about what you say, it's thus say the Lord. Okay. And then Jeremy says she has she's a natural born woman. So he said that the name that you gave us to, okay. How do you, so what, did she inject some, y'all see I'm starting to sweat. Did she inject some stuff to give her too much testosterone? What happened with that? And the Pioneer says black youth are still getting arrested and going to jail for marijuana possessions. If it's legal, why are they still getting arrested for it?
Because people are confused. You cannot go outside in public and smoke it. You can't do that. You can smoke it in your home. You can go to the dispensary and buy it, or go to the drug dealer or the marijuana dealer. But you can't arbitrarily be out in public smoking it. Look at the law of your state. I guarantee you it will say that. That's why.
Yeah. And you know, and just to be honest, I almost every day I'll drive down the street, I could smell it coming out of somebody's car. And it's like, okay, let's say it is legal for you to be outside smoking it. Are you supposed to be driving it and smoking it? So it's like we do have to use some wisdom, right? I mean, it's like drinking is legal, but are you supposed to drink and drive? So, and let's see here. Let me make sure I get all the comments. And tonight says she was smoking before her race. That's why it was in her system. Serena is the best, and she was tested more than any woman in tennis history. But she brought it to the WTA and asked, was it racism or sexism? Yes, she actually was. And I think it says she was tested more than any other athlete, if I'm not mistaken. And she brought that up, I think it was last year, you know, because Serena is built.
Yeah, her build. She was like stronger than all the average white chicks. That's for damn sure.
And they, you know, dislike Serena, so they want to try to catch her slipping, you know. And Dark Matter says, WR meant world record. Okay, got it, because you know I'm slow. World record, got it. And he says, sorry, her start needs to work. I see world record in her. Flojo ran 10.49, still world record, I think.
Yeah, real quick, I'm going to cut you off. Dark Matter, you know, so I'm not the only one that noticed that when she jumped out of the gate. I mean, she was, I mean, I'm not saying it was terrible, but it wasn't, you know, correct. And she still smoked them. I was like, damn, because it's like she almost stumbled out of the gate where the people were already ahead of her. And then oh my God. So I'm glad I wasn't the only one that noticed that her form in her startup is kind of.
Yes, she got to get her wheels, get her wheels going, you know, from the gate. No, I used to run track. So that's.
I don't believe it. Look, Demetra is lying, because if you guys see what she's dragging behind there, ain't no way. Ain't no way.
Well, we talking about like 1986, you know, 7, 8, 9, you know, when I was a young whippersnapper. I was lean. Not so much. I can't even run around the corner. I can run around the corner, y'all. I can run. Young Brown, you say everyone wants to do what they think is right, but what does the Lord say? Yeah, and I think even in this case, unfortunately, the Olympic trials supersedes the Lord, because even the Lord gives you, you know, forgives you for the things that you do, but unfortunately, there's consequences in, you know, the land of Caesar, right? That's what they tell us. And Queen Candace says, yes, we should root for her. Her haters and the media will make enough noise on the other side. And that is a beautiful point. She got enough people that's going to dog her out. And that Jalen said, now they done dug up off into her old tweets, now trying to make her a problematic person and not the sweetheart she was. You know.
Of course. Wait. You know, you can't be the sweetheart of the track profession or the tennis profession. You got tattoos and wigs on your head and all of that. You know, and what I'm saying is that's what they're going to go. This ghetto chick is going to do all this. This is what they're going to do to drag her down. Now they got the tweet and everything like that. You can't represent America looking like that. That's what they're going to do. It's the same playbook. It's the same playbook.
Yep. And Jeremy says, thanks for reading the comments, new to and enjoying the channel. You two are a great team. Well, thank you. That's what we do here. We read all the comments unless it just gets like, woo. Then we like go through some, but make sure everybody gets a comment read. So no, absolutely. Thank you for being here. And Young Brown says, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge and their rejection of truth. That's the other part we don't always say. Is the next part is rejection of truth. And a lot of times we get the truth and we reject it. We don't want to hear it. That ain't what I've been taught, or that don't sound right to me. And then we end up getting in trouble because we reject the knowledge. So absolutely. And Tawana, how you doing? He says, Seminya, I hope I said that right, is an intersex woman assigned female at birth with a XY chromosome and naturally elevated testosterone levels. Okay, so you're going to have to break that down a little bit for me, because I get confused with a lot of the stuff that's going on now in regards to gender. I know some people get mad if you call them a he or a she, and they're really a they or a them. So, who? Oh, my daughter. She's.
Don't say that out loud.
Oh,
but
so,
that's what it is. Yeah, why would you bounce into the camera?
Oh, you said about hermaphrodite?
Yes, that's
okay,
what
hermaphrodite.
Got it.
The correct term is intersex.
Oh, but the correct. Oh, so that's not the correct term. So the correct term is intersex. Got it.
Yeah, I'm from the old school. Hermaphrodite.
You're gonna get me blocked. Okay, so that's the correct term. Thank you for enlightening me. I knew it the other way, but I didn't know that was a term. So thank you for that.
We learned just as much from you guys as you guys hopefully do.
That crossed me up. All right, so naturally that's who she is. Got it. Okay, and so Taylor, how you doing? He says the Olympics is nothing but a corporate plantation. That's what we should be really mad about. But they interviewed her on today so they can see her apologize and plead to have a second chance.
She didn't plead to have a second chance, and that's why I was like, yes, you know.
But she said that's what they wanted her to do, but she didn't. Right. Yeah. And Dark Matter says, agreed, her rebound will be eye-opening, just hang tough. Absolutely.
You know, wait, and real quick, Dark Man, another thing is too, okay, her start is kind of crappy. She needs to work on that. She's got the damn nails and the wig. Okay, no, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but what I'm saying is, if she didn't have all that extra, in airplanes, it's called parasite drag that keeps the plane when you got extra stuff hanging off. Think how many seconds or whatever, tens of thousands of seconds she could cut off her time if she didn't have that on top of her head. You know what I mean?
Did Flojo have it?
No, but Flojo.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, she did, but she beat Flojo just now. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, I mean, she could probably be a lot faster.
You just don't like wigs and nails.
No. All I'm saying is, for her talent, if she would be aerodynamically correct, she would probably get into the nines.
She was damn near naked. I mean, I don't know what else she could have done. As most track runners are, they have on the least clothes as possible to help them with
Yeah. Well, if you guys go to YouTube and put in track star loses wig, and you're going to see a bunch of track stars in Europe and some of these little things where these chicks are fast and then they'll stop automatically because their wig flips or it falls off. I mean, it's funny, but it's like, damn, you know.
LaMarcus, how you doing? Says, damn, she crushed my heart with this one. She just gave white supremacy another talking point. Yeah, but you know, they was already talking before they called her. So, and the Pioneer says the Caucasians love to promote and showcase Seminya, a sneaky way to this and promote the masculinization of Black women. Okay, I've never heard of her. I have to check her out. And Lauren says, Demetra Donovan, even on deployments coming back from leave or going on leave, they will test you. Seen it firsthand. Oh
yeah. When we had bases in the Philippines, you would come back from there. You would have to be VD tested, and if you got some shit, you were quarantined, because in the Philippines back in my day, and remember I was a military brat, so I was there in the early '80s and stuff. They got a VD over there that will turn your thing into a foot. Crazy stuff. But no, I actually saw whole crews being quarantined because coming back from the Philippines, because some guy partook in the local natives.
All right. Young Brown, he says, y'all have to repent. The Lord doesn't like sin. He's in control of everything. Absolutely. I mean, yeah. Mr. Pie Brain says, with this pandemic, I wouldn't want to go to Japan now anyway. I'm gonna leave it at that because I can only go into too much in regards to that on
Well,
YouTube.
no, well, you had something to say about Japan when it came to our Olympic athletes and our
Well,
black
they
athletes.
don't like us over there in Japan, no way. And so that's just a plus for them. So I mean, that's not a secret, but I think we really need to educate ourselves, right? And Dark Matter says, our real talk, Miss Taylor M. We need the Afro Games or something, do for self and kind. Yes, and that's actually where I was going with that. I was going to reserve my comments, but yeah, we get our own Olympian Games or whatever. It don't matter. But see, the problem is, and I think athletes who work hard, they should be acknowledged for their work. But I think often we look for too much validation of them instead of saying, okay, you know what, even if we have something very, very small, we start with something small, have our own games, because that's where all the talent is anyway. Can you imagine all the black athletes? Because, they messing with the swimmers too. They're saying that they can't wear the caps that protect their hair. They can't wear them. Japan is making that, I guess, or I guess it's Tokyo that's making that ruling that they can't wear the caps on their hair. Sisters don't be wanting to jump in that chlorine with nothing on our hair because it does mess our hair up. Our hair is not like the white girls or the straighter hair. The chemicals eat our hair up, especially if you're a swimmer. But
wait,
they do.
Wait, but doesn't Michael Phelps use a cap when he's swimming and the guys are doing those kind of swimming things?
Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but for some reason.
Oh, but it's black guys. Yeah, black people. Yeah, we got to make a rule.
The sisters can't. They ruled against them. And Young Brown says smoking weed is a sin if it defiles the temple. Yes, that's what the Bible says. That's what the Bible says. And you also say smoking doesn't supposed to go in your lungs. Shaking my head. Yeah, I wouldn't put it in my lungs. And Artie says I think she has a weed problem. And yeah, maybe she does. A lot of young people and older people, they just smoke weed. I mean, it's called a cigar weed because a lot of people smoke it like a cigarette, right?
Well, you got to think about it. You got to think about it. You're black in America. I mean, when people smoke, it's a nerve disorder because you're just nervous and it's just, so you can cope and keep cool. So a lot of people, black folks, it's not surprising. Look at every black man in America's eyes. There is not a black man in America that has white colored eyes. Our eyes are either yellow or cracked. That's just from being black and stressed out in America. It's just a fact.
I do be having to put eye drops in my eyes every day, so maybe you might be on to something. And Defia, how you doing? He says, my mother passed away when I was 14, so I know how you feel, Dimitri. Yeah, and, I was in my 40s when my mom passed. So I had my mom a little bit longer, but 14, I couldn't imagine. Oh, my God. Jesus. And Chocolate Girl, how you doing? And Jafari says, good afternoon, all. Same to you. And Young Brown says, so homosexuality is legal, but God doesn't approve it. Well, I mean, depending on what your religious system is, everybody does not ascribe or subscribe to religion. So
I know if you believe in religion, he says, a final judgment is mine, not ours. It's his.
Right. So, I mean, I'm not religious at all, y'all. I do know the Bible and all of that, but I mean, if that's the system you subscribe to, then I guess so. And Lamarcus says, but I still ride with her, right or wrong. We got to. She belongs to us. She made a mistake, and we should never get in the habit, or we actually should get out of the habit of throwing our people away because they made a mistake. Because as somebody else said, white supremacy is going to do that without us doing it. And Young Brown says, Act 5 and 29, we must obey God rather than man.
I have to disagree. The Bible also says you obey Caesar's laws and pay Caesar his tithes. So which is it?
And that's why I said I don't subscribe, to religion, especially with the Bible. And I'm not trying to offend people who go to church and read the Bible, but there are a lot of contradictions in the Bible. I mean, it just is. And Queen Candace says they talk about us regardless. We can't help. We can't harp on that. No, absolutely. And Brian, how you doing? He says marijuana is illegal in Japan. Tokyo, Japan people, but she got caught smoking it in Oregon, the United States. So she wasn't in Japan. And that's actually the anti-doping policy is that of the Olympic committee,
right?
Comprised of a lot of states and nations. So and then the Pioneer says, how can Sha'carri be homophobic when she has a girlfriend? I didn't want to bring that up. But they
wait. Say that again. She's bisexual. What's she saying?
From what I understand, she has a girlfriend.
what these young kids are into some shit that it is what it is.
Right, but that's a good point though. And Jafia says, if it goes federal, I think you meant, that means that it's legal all over the U.S. Absolutely.
But cannabis is sitting on in the Senate. It is not legal federally all over the United States. That's the problem. That's why I have a bunch of weed stock. Dimitri has a bunch of weed stock. We're waiting for them to federalize this whole damn thing so we could get paid.
Right. And they will eventually, maybe, I don't know. They're waiting, asking Joe Biden to go ahead and spearhead it, but then he'd have to right a lot of the wrongs that he did.
Yeah, well, a lot of Democrats voted for Joe Biden because, since they're so liberal and weed is such a great thing, when Joe Biden gets in there, he's going to legalize it. Still waiting. Right.
And Mr. Piper says it's amazing seeing so many people judging her. She's done more at 20 than probably most people in the chat. Well, I mean, most people in ever, that's an accomplishment, Like I said, I ran track. And it's not easy, and I didn't train at all, nowhere near. I wasn't trying to be in the Olympics. I was just trying to be out there in the field because there was some cute boys out there. And I got caught up on the track team. I actually lettered in track and all of that. But it's hard to train. You got to watch what you eat. You got to, be in the gym. I mean, it's a lot. So it is an accomplishment at that age. And then you racing in front of the world. Like I'm racing in front of 2 high schools,
And y'all should have seen her. Y'all should have seen her in them shorts. Lord. Lord.
Oh, I don't look too bad now. Don't get it twisted. No, I'm just playing, y'all. And DG Blue 22, how you doing? You say didn't make Mike Phelps spoke from a bond. Yes, but Mike Phelps. But yeah, his punishment was actually a lot harsher than that of Sha'carri. So, and Robin says, so she went from LGBTQ to now being homophobic. People are reaching all the way back. A few days ago, they were saying that she was LGBTQ. Yeah, because I read a few articles, of, a couple of out magazines and, magazines like that, and they were proud of her and, how courageous, and now they want to drag her. It's like, make up your mind. The internet really is bipolar, y'all. And the Pioneer says that Donovan, you're absolutely right, bro. They choose when to enforce the marijuana laws and when not to. This is why I say it's a trick and a trap. We should make sure our people know it's illegal. Yes, indeed. And Jafia says Jamaica's been using enhancers since Ben Johnson. Yeah,
Ben Johnson's from Canada.
Yeah, they all get caught up. They've all so everywhere been caught up.
Well, wasn't that a big thing in track? What it is they try to push the limits, like in the Barry Bonds thing with the substance. They say, okay, we can't do this, but I took this. It wasn't banned at the time, so I can still go. And then they finally put that on the list. Then that's banned. Then they go to the next great substance and somebody, makes it. And it's just an ongoing game of cat and mouse. It's just an ongoing game.
I mean, I remember when I was running track, I would see people take honey, like, ingest honey really quick, I guess, or to give them that, that endorphin boost or whatever, so they can get that extra energy. I don't know how well it works, but. And Lauren says, hello, my neighbor, my neighbor smoke it, and you can smell it from their air vents in the ceiling. Yeah, I mean, like I said, a lot of times when I'm driving, I smell it coming from people's cars. I'm like, now what if I was the police?
Yeah, and that shit is a horrible smell. I'm sorry. I don't see how people could, to each his own. I'm just saying, just cigarettes. I can't date I don't care how fine you are as a woman, that just the cigarettes, it's in your clothes, it's in your hair, it's in your skin. You can just smell it, and it's just repulsive. And then when you put the weed to that, oh my God, it stank.
Oh God. And the Pioneer, I see you became a member. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And Sunlight, my daughter came in here looking at the screen like, what Donovan saying? she brought up some cigarettes.
It stinks. I don't care how fine you are. It stinks.
She tried to dine you out. Sunlight says, side note on this topic is that this is poetic justice that a black athlete is robbing America of the gold. This country doesn't deserve to be represented by a black talented athlete. Yeah, I said it. Wow. you may be on to something. You very well may be on to something, especially how they treat us. You know, how she going to be treated when she comes back? The same. So you're on to something. And Queen Candace, you say she will redeem herself. I can't wait to see her race again, whenever that is. Hashtag beast mode. Well, she's supposed to be doing a 440 relay with the American team. So she'll race there. And she can still, you know, run a pretty fast time within that race. So, you know, God works in mysterious ways. You just never know, right? And Jafia says, actually, improving marijuana will set blacks back because more and more employers will begin drug testing and lots of us will go down. You make a good point. Just because it's legal federally and legal, you know, statewide, a lot of jobs will be like, you ain't supposed to be doing that. If they test you,
right,
you lose your job.
Right. Now here, and that brings up another question. Okay, it's legal federally, right? Can you join the military and still use drugs? It's all federal. Let's say the federal government approved it. See, you got to be smart and scientific in what you're getting involved in. I mean, it's just how it is. You join the FBI, can you? You're a federal employee, just a civilian employee. Are you allowed to smoke drugs even though it's legal? I doubt it.
Well, not before you get in anyway. When you get in, that's probably a different story.
Yeah, well, we know some people
right.
that are already in, especially the civilians. They're going ham.
Right.
So.
And the Pioneer says, I don't think the so-called marijuana that you smell, most people are smoking, is even real marijuana. It doesn't even smell like real weed. You don't get addicted to real weed like so many youth are. And Dr. Wesley Muhammad talks about that. He's like, this ain't the same stuff our parents were smoking. They got all kind of stuff laced up in there. And his theory is that they're purposely manufacturing it so that it can feminize black men and boys. So,
well, Demetrius said this a couple years back, and I think it's true. How do you go and get you a dime bag of weed from somebody that you don't know what they cut it with and mixed it with and did all that? All it takes is one time, and your brain could be fried. One time.
You have these garage chemists and stuff, mixing and matching stuff. Like, are you crazy? Most of us wouldn't even go to eat out of somebody's kitchen we didn't know, let alone let them cut you up some weed and then sell it to you and you smoke it. I mean, I don't know. I just think there's something logically flawed there. Charles, how you doing? He say, yes, love this young sister. So proud of her. Yes, we all are. And Jafia says, if they have XY chromosome, it's a man, right?
Yeah,
so
that's basic science, yeah.
So that's, listen, I passed science in high school, but barely.
Well, I minored in physics, and yes, XY chromosome. Men, if you have a daughter, that is your fault because women are YY chromosome. So it's up to you to give the girl the X to make it a boy.
All right. Dark Matter says, all of us have our own pace for growth and development. And as previously mentioned, we support her. This is a learning experience for her. Yeah, she's going to come out the other side of it, far better. I always advocate, you're going to learn your hard lessons, learn them early. Don't still be in your 40s and 50s and hell, your 30s doing stuff that you should have got out of your system years ago. I mean,
ladies, thugging at 40, getting you a thug at 40 years old is not cute. Okay.
Listen, I'm going to tell y'all something. If I get me a thug at 50, it's because I'm going to be the sugar mama. Okay. I know what I'm signing up for. I only need him for one thing. One.
Right. And that's my point. If you're going to do it, obviously you're going to be the one with the money, but to expect that fool to be responsible and stuff. No.
Listen, you don't even got to talk. I just need you to have some stamina and endurance. Okay. And say, yes, ma'am. That's all I need you to say. I'm just keeping it real. Okay.
More, please. More, please.
Let's see here. And the ones that you guys are replying to, I won't read those for time's sake. And Queen Candace says they all were that crap. I think you said meant smoking. Is that what you meant? And Jafia says, Donovan, that's nonsense. Donovan been getting trouble. You talking about I think when you was talking about the nails and the hair and stuff. I think that's where they was. I knew somebody was gonna get you. Jeremy
Well,
says,
this is actually nonsense because she could probably get into the nines if she makes herself aerodynamically correct. That's all I'm saying.
Jeremy says that it doesn't matter. FloJo had all of that, and she
Right.
did.
And this girl beat her record with what FloJo had, looking just like FloJo. I'm saying, you guys take your feelings out of it. I'm saying she could probably get into the nines if she would take the stuff that is like on the airplanes, we call it parasite drag. So when you see the engines on the side and the little things that are doing it, that slows an aircraft down. It's the same thing in running. If she didn't have anything that would actually catch the wind, she could probably run into the nines if she would just, aerodynamically just use her natural hair, whatever, put a thing on and run. She could probably get into the nines. There's no doubt about, in my mind, there's no doubt about it.
I'm just listening. I'm sure somebody in here gonna get you. Oh gosh, and tonight says honestly, Sha'carri needs us. Who cares about the nails, hair, lashes, tattoos? She made a mistake, and we have to go harder to paint for the distractors. Donovan, stop your bullshit.
Wait, you missed Sunlight's point. Sadiq, scientifically, that's how I was speaking, scientifically.
I purposely missed that one.
You might have a point. I know you did. You might have a point.
No, I didn't purposely miss it because I said I was going to skip the ones that say at, but yeah, he might have a point, but.
Now remember, I minored in physics. I'm coming from it from a scientific point. If it's like running with a hat on, wind is going to get underneath this hat, which is going to slow me down by tenths of hundreds of seconds. That's probably true. But the point is, if I didn't have the hat and I ran naturally, I could probably run faster in time without any drag holding me back. It's a fact. You guys continue on with your psychology degrees.
And Queen Candace says that hair didn't stop Shelly Ann. I don't know who Shelly Ann is. Is that a white woman? It says Brian. He says Shelly Ann Fraser Price wears colorful wigs, and she's the top 100-meter runner.
Not compared to this young girl, and again goes back to my point. If old girl would take that wig off, and I know you talk about the chick that was from Jamaica that holds the record right now, she would probably run faster. That is fact. It's just physics, you guys. It's physics. It's physics. That's why you don't see them running in loose-fitting clothes. Why don't they run in loose-fitting clothes? Why?
I'm just listening.
Okay, but Dimitri, answer that question. Why don't runners run in loose-fitting clothes?
They don't run in loose-fitting clothes because it does trap air and slows
Thank
it down.
you.
However, the hair is flying backwards, and so it's not maxing out.
But it's still trapping you.
Well, how do the white women do it when their hair is?
Well, the same thing, because all that hair, it's going through their hair and stuff. It still slows them. That's called drag parasite drag. That's what it's called. Okay. On airplanes, that's what it's called.
Okay. Well, the Pioneer says, I will read this one. At Donovan, you're absolutely right, bro. I thought this was common sense that all of that hair flowing and swinging from side to side will slow you down. Yeah, she's fast, but she can be faster without it. Okay, so you got 1.5 people agreeing with you. And Robin says, Donovan, just come out and say that you just like bare natural women, no wigs, nails, etc.
Well, no, that's true. I like my women natural and stuff like that. But we're talking about a profession to where you are trying to be the fastest that you can possibly be. In airplanes, to be the fastest airplane, like the SR-71, how many things are hanging on the SR-71? Almost nothing. And that plane is almost 60 years old. And it's still the fastest plane ever conceived. Parasite drag. Well, I'm just talking physics, you guys. If you guys were talking physics, you would know, well, I'm sure you guys know, it just makes sense that, and if she wants to run like that, that's fine. I'm just saying, this chick is so fast, she could probably do the 100 in the 9s if she would just get rid of the parasitic drag.
All right. Well, for argument's sake, and time's sake, I'm going to go ahead and get to these comments. And one who cares, how you doing? He says, greetings, Dimitri and guests. And Rick, who said a whole foot. Donovan ain't got no damn sense. And Jafia says, my family was in the Philippines in the 80s too. And Rick says, I'm not watching. I'm going to boycott. Okay. And some people are saying they're going to boycott. And Jeremy says, FloJo didn't have the tattoos or the attitude. Remember when Sha'carri won her race and she said, stop effing playing with me. I think that was more like a term of, because Gwen Berry, the hammer throw, she got bronze and she turned her back as the national anthem was playing. She also said, stop playing with me, because she says they know that she protests the national anthem and the flag and all of that. And they played the national anthem as she, I guess, was walking out, and she said she felt like they did that to her on purpose. And so she tweeted a picture of her with her back turned, and she said, stop playing with me too. So I just think that's, part of, who I am type of thing. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. James, how you doing? He says, turn your yoo-hoo into a foot. I was stationed in Okinawa. It was called Black Syphilis.
Yep. I graduated high school over there, and I'm telling you that, woo, it's pretty bad over there. The Vietnamese, woo, they got a VD that, anyway.
Hopefully it stay over there. I mean, I ain't got those problems anyway. Lauren says, let's be serious. Ever since Nixon, Reagan introduced the drugs in our community, drugs entirely is still killing our folks, and some of us don't want to fight it off. Good point. And Dark Matter says, sports, regardless, without black folks, bottom line, we leave all sports, start our own. Guess who everybody's coming to see? Exactly. And they going to find their way over to our stuff.
And that's what I'm saying. NFL, NBA, if we do it.
Right. And Jabari says, I noticed that there are a lot more car accidents now that there are so many weed dispensers. Yeah. You probably got a good point. I mean, it's dangerous out there in them streets. And Jeremy says the soul cap is not shaped the same as the regular cap. Soul cap is too big. Marijuana is a natural herb. Okay.
Well, if the soul cap is so big, then you should let him wear it. That would slow him down even more, right?
I would think. And let's see here. And so I'm going to go to and giant pants. All right. How you doing? He says, forget the Bible. All right. Now, you're throwing rocks up there. And Young Brown says, the Bible says, be fruitful and multiply. The Bible does say that. And Jeremy says, marijuana used for the healing of the land. That's why it's illegal. There you go. There is some natural good stuff. And I've never smoked weed a day in my life. I know somebody going to be lying. But for real, I never have. I've never smoked weed. I've never done any drugs. I drink every blue moon, but I just never had to. I never wanted to do it, right? I was like, I'm good. But yeah, it has a lot of the medicinal, qualities, if you will, medicinal rather. And let's see here. And somebody says, I don't know if she is bi or lesbian. I think people took the comment out of context and ran with it. That's what they do. And Lamarcus says, I'm loving the chat's commentary. All right now. And the Pioneer says, in my opinion, black people are in no position to be getting drunk or high. We need all of our brain cells working properly to think our way out of the situation. We can celebrate after success. And you know who said that as well? Mimi Fuller Jr. He says, we're always celebrating. Why are we don't have anything to celebrate at this moment. Let's move the ball significantly, like getting a reparations or actually really getting some civil rights and, human rights. We get those things, then we can say, yay. But until then, and I hate to say it, 4th of July is coming up this Sunday, which I forgot. How many of us are going to be out there? A lot. And Queen Candace says, Sloppy Joe, Jim Crow ain't gonna do shit. No, not at all. He's just gonna be looking crazy like he always does. And Ronnie, she says, she our people. We should support her. Her personal life is her business. We have to support our people. We have to support our people. Talent like that comes once in a blue moon. Absolutely. Yeah, we don't throw our people away. We love them and say, you made a mistake and we know you'll fix it, but we're going to ride with you no matter what. So I agree with you.
Yeah, I just, Ronice, I agree with you wholeheartedly, but I just have a little difference of opinion. When a celebrity puts their personal life out there like that, it is our business at that point. And what I'm saying is there's a lot of celebrities that you don't, Michael Jordan, you didn't even know what his wife looked like for years until she started, coming out and stuff like that. I mean, there's a way you can live a life without putting your business out there. And, some people do, some people don't. It is what it is. But when it goes public, it's just out there. Then it becomes our business.
Well, I think she's probably talking about her sexuality. And then true indeed, she didn't put it out that she had got in trouble for marijuana. Somebody else put it out. So, because we just found out about it, but it's been going on for a couple of days. And Giant Pants says weed is legal in New Jersey. Okay.
But it's not legal federally.
Right. Or he was just making the point that it's legal in New Jersey. And Jafia says Ben Johnson was a Jamaican living in Canada. So she says, you stand corrected. Or he. It's a she, I'm assuming. Sorry.
No. I didn't say he wasn't a Jamaican. I just said I was basically saying he represented Canada. That's what I was saying. Because the Jamaica does have a running team, and a lot of people don't know that. But
he was being contrary.
But here's what I do like. You got a lot of black athletes now that are going to countries that will sponsor them and representing those countries. I love that shit.
Right. And I'm just going to go to some of these other comments that I have not really gotten to. Rick C says, D&D, the caps are called Soul Cap, made specifically for natural hair by a black-owned company. Okay. Asians are targeting us as well as the Olympic Committee. I won't watch it. Stop black hate. I'm with you. Because that's what I heard. It was more of Japan was not wanting them to wear that more so than the Olympic Committee.
They don't even want them to wear T-shirts that have activist labels on it.
Oh, yeah. No, they like, you ain't going to be saying no Black Lives Matter stuff over here. And bringing it back, I don't know what that's about. Oh, you just want to stink so good. You're talking about the weed?
The weed, yeah.
He said, I like it. That's a good smell. And Giant Pants says, once weed was legal, I hate the smell also. Laugh out loud. It doesn't necessarily bother me as much. I mean, some of it is like, ugh. Some of it smells all right, Hey, Tiffany, how you doing? He says, oh, come on. It's not crack or anything hardcore like that. Y'all say, I'm pro-marijuana.
And that's cool. I mean, like I said, I have no problem with people that want to do it. I'm not trying to stop them from doing that. But let me ask you a question, Tiffany. Is your job okay with you doing marijuana? Because it ain't like it's crack or anything. I'm just wondering.
Well, there is an argument because a lot of people try to argue that, oh, well, weed is a gateway drug. It's a slippery slope. If you smoke weed, then you smoke crack, then you do harsher drugs. But that's never been proven at all.
Yeah, no, but what I'm trying to get her to understand is, yeah, it's not a big deal to us, but it's the rules of an international body. And that's what we got to, we got to stop thinking that the American way is the only way.
I don't think that's what she was saying. I think she was just basically saying that it's not as harsh as, the hard things like crack or
oh, yeah, no.
That's what she was saying.
I agree.
Yeah. And Reggie, and how you doing? He says, also the IOC, International Olympic Committee, said herb is illegal. I feel bad for the sister, but those are the rules. Anyway, she'll bounce back. Yeah, she'll bounce back. She's young.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that was put on the list in January of this year. It was just put on the list.
And Lamarcus says, recovering Democrat, and you're about to be selling weed. It's all good though, brother.
No. Donovan doesn't sell no weed. I've never done any drugs. I'm a pilot.
Because you have stock.
Yeah, I have stock. Yeah, exactly. But that ain't weed. That ain't weed. So I'm into the money. I'm like the white folks. I'm trying to get the real money.
You funding it. Giant Pan says, be aware they're putting nicotine in the water to grow the weed. So that's how it's becoming addictive. I mean, that makes sense. And Young Brown, you say there's a difference between religion and nationality. This is my lineage as an Israelite. Okay, so you're an Israelite. Got it. And Cap G Pro 1, I hope I said that right. How you doing? It says, we need to stop smoking weed. We are too far behind to compound it with being high. You're absolutely right. There's other things we should be doing. We don't need nothing else to hinder us as a people. So I agree with you on that one. And Giant Panther says, I got weed from a dispensary in New Jersey and it smells like nicotine. Be careful, everyone. Now, I wouldn't doubt it. Cigarette companies have jumped in the game too. Philip Morris, they want to sell it, and mass produce it like cigarettes. So you might be onto something.
Well, you got to remember, Philip Morris and those cigarette companies are the only companies in the United States that has a capacity to do it. That's why they're kind of sitting on this thing to make sure all the senators and congressmen got their stocks and their incentives to deal with this, because it's going to pass. But the most people are going to make money is going to be the tobacco companies, because as people shift from cigarettes to weed, who's going to make the money?
Right. And Tiffany says, but then again, if the rules say no drugs and she knew about that, then it's hard to feel bad for her. Yeah, I mean, feel bad that she wasted an opportunity, but like everybody else says, she'll be okay. And the Pioneer says, hey, Queen, I have an idea for a good show. Since you and Donovan and most of us don't like either party, we should do a show compiling a list of our values and what we like a new party to look like. That's a good idea. I like it. We need to get together and do that. And
we need to get these old ass motherfuckers out of any party. There got to be an age limit.
I'm gonna say this right. Meta Simp Locals. Ooh, Lord. He says, elbow cough greetings. Are you sick? Is that what it is? Well, if you're sick, I hope you feel much better. And sorry for jacking your name up. And Jafia says, women are XX.
Oh, okay. So XXYY, XYY. Okay.
Sounds like you might have failed science too.
No, I said I have a degree in physics. I don't have a degree in science. I'm good at science, but I didn't master it.
Clearly.
because that was your freshman stuff, so I don't remember the easy stuff.
Clearly. Dark Matter says, if there were no drug rules, use what you want. We're still gonna spank that ass. It doesn't matter. I'm with you. And Laura says, can I get Ric Flair? Woo! Was that it? Go ahead, Donovan. You watch all that wrestling and stuff.
No, you got it right.
I got it right. All right. And LaMarcus says, didn't Oregon just legalize all drugs? Ooh, what's all drugs? Crack is legal too? I mean, I know about the marijuana, but I ain't know about no crack now. And Jafia says, I agree, D. And the Pioneer says, sis, I agree that most lessons should be learned young, but be aware that some of these youth are learning the hard way and aren't living through the lessons to learn from them. No, so that I agree. Yeah, you ain't gonna try to go out there and try to jump in front of no car and survive and nothing like that. I'm saying, some of the things that naturally I want to say, am I saying this right, as young people, the stuff young people do, because when you're young, you're usually dumb. I'm not talking about academically. I'm just talking about you don't have enough life experiences really to judge. And by that time, you ain't listening to nobody. And so you go out there and forget that fat meat is greasy. Find out fat meat is greasy. And then you get your thought process rearranged. And you're like, oh, okay, now I know.
Yeah, especially these young girls. Once they realize they got WAP, you can't tell them nothing. So.
And once y'all realize we got WAP, can't tell y'all nothing. And Ronnie says, you need to be her coach. And Robin says, I know that's right, Demetra. I'm celibate, but when I become a cougar, I'm going to break somebody's son's back.
Demetra, please tell our friend Robin what this older lady told you about holding it. Why?
When I was a young girl, like yesterday, okay? Some older lady told me, she says, when I was younger, I was like, I'm going to save it. I'm going to wait for the right person. And that, I don't know if the right person ever came along, but she says, now that I'm older, I thought, what was I saving it for? I wish I would have just gave it away more. I was like.
So, Robin, the moral of the story is
no. Donovan want people to be out there and just live their best hooker life. No. Okay, because we don't want to end up with the black syphilis out there in them streets. Hey, Crystals, how you doing? Crystals Flex, how you doing? And Georgia Rose, what's going on with you? And oops. Oh, we got a lot of comments. Okay, I'm gonna get to them. Watch. And Ronnie says, Donovan, be her coach so you can navigate her to fly. There you go.
I can get her to the nines. I'm telling you.
All right. Reggie says, I'm siding with Donovan. Brother got 12 degrees. He know what he's talking about with that wig drag. You know what? He might be on to something. Let me tell y'all something. Donovan has got probably 12 wigs his damn self. So he probably does know. He probably does know what he's talking about with the wigs. And Queen Candace says, recovering Democrat, you're funny. You make sense, but why don't they all run in swim caps to be faster?
And they could. No, seriously. If they weren't so, into their looks and, it's a woman thing, I guess, they could. But think about skating. What do they wear when they skate? Speed skating. They wear those caps, or they wear the bodysuit to get the top speed. It's the same thing in running. It would be the same thing.
I guess the question that I have, and listen, I've never worn a wig before, so I think that when do you see me wear a wig? I think that if the wig was a big deal, wouldn't the coaches or somebody say, "Hey, it's cute, but ditch the wig"?
Wait a minute. Wait. See, you're talking like a black woman or a woman in general who's not thinking about that. To tell a black woman that she can't roll with her beautiful hair out or her beautiful wig. Are you crazy? If I'm your black coach, I would be fired on the spot.
Oh, please. If I wasn't a world-class athlete and my coach said, listen, ditch the wig until you're done racing, I would do it. I mean, because that's standing in between your money.
Well, guess what? You don't even have to ditch the wig. There are some runners that just have their hair short. That's all you've got to do to reduce the drag. That's all it is. All I'm saying is in this young girl's case, because she has the speed, she loses about a second when she comes out the gate. She loses a second on that alone. And she's always picking up late into the contest. So you take that second out of the gate, she makes that up, and I'll give her a half a second. No, I'll give her a fourth of a second getting rid of the wig. That would put her in the nines. The low nines.
I mean, I sacrificed that fourth of a second to be cute, whatever. Donovan, I'll let you read Jeremy's comment. I'm going to keep on going. And Queen Candace says, I support Gwen Berry. Mr. H, how you doing? He says, people don't want the truth. Just leave them where they are. Yeah, that's my philosophy now. I'm done trying to drag people along. I'm with you 100%. And Dark Matter says, we got to let the sisters do their vanity thing. Let them have the hair, nails, etc. These sisters stay on shine. No problem. Be cute in first place. Laugh out loud. You know what I'm saying?
Dark Matter, you're absolutely right. But that also goes to the fact that look at the competition that they're dealing with. So they really don't have to worry about wearing the cap. But I'm just saying, if they wanted to get faster, it would do that.
Got it. And one who cares, she says, not I. And see, Ruffin, how you doing? He says, enjoying y'all. Thank you. And thank you for being here. And Tawana says, I never smoked that mess. And I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis 32 years ago. And don't they say that it helps with certain things like that? Because I know Montel Williams, he was out the gate with it years ago saying, I smoke weed and I smoke it a lot because it brings my pain down from a 10 to, I think he said, a 4 or something. So he said, I'll continue to smoke. And this is when it was illegal.
Yeah. And Tawana, I have a rheumatoid arthritis as well. So yeah.
Hey, Leather and Luxury Cars says, hey y'all, and thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. And I'm new to that kind of stuff, y'all. So thank y'all. And Jafai says Michael Jordan is not married. No.
Why marry the white girl when you're getting the milk free? Why?
You stupid. And Inez, how you doing? He says, yep, support her in Zungus. He says, I do it all the time. But when it comes to Black people, different rules apply. And we know that, right? We know that right off the bat. So unfortunately, we got to act accordingly. And I'll give y'all a perfect example. I'm blocked on Facebook for going live for 30 days for something I posted 2.5 years ago. Something stupid. Was it? I'm like, but I'm not mad because I know whose platform that is. I don't have no real standing on that platform. This one either, to be honest with you, which is why, like Phil Scott at the African Diaspora News Channel, he's developed an app and we got a website because, and that channel did go down one time. It was, somebody hacked it. But what if it didn't come back up? So you're subjected to everybody else's rules. So it just behooves us to get our own thing eventually, and we can do, for the most part, what we want, right? So absolutely. Donovan says, free Demetri K. And Eric, how you doing? He says, we have warned people smoking weed, soft targets. You're absolutely right. It's the last thing we should really, I get it if you have issues, but just all day, every day. Like, I remember when I was younger, I would hear about young people doing it, but it wasn't just, it was, all day. It was just like, hey, I smoked some weed last week or whatever. But it's like, so people say wake and bake. They got to wake up to do it, go to sleep to do it. It's like, geez. So, yeah. And the Pioneer says, that crap these young people are smoking ain't real weed. It's got a lot of our young people so stupid they forget to even count the change they get back from the liquor store. Damn. And the Pioneer says, not okay. Not gonna say you replying to somebody else. Big Cannon says, I save so much money because I grow my own and I know exactly what I'm smoking. There you go. If you know what you're putting in it, then you better off. But yeah, I wouldn't trust the stuff they selling. Ain't no way. And Queen Candace says he want us to follow. It jumped up. Oh, here we go. You want us to follow all the rules I say. It don't matter. They still demonize and kill us even when we do. But I feel you if we're gonna play their games. Yeah, they're gonna always try to find a way to trip us up. And Biscuit, how you doing? He says, what happened? We're talking about Sha'carri Richardson, the track runner, the superstar. Is not going to be able to run. She's under suspension for 30 days for testing positive for marijuana. So, Jafia says, yes, Oregon legalized all drugs, including crack. They don't want to have to lock up any of their 93% white population. Ain't that some mess? So you
I'm not saying that you're not true. I never heard about that because in Oregon, them white folks are still turning up. They've been turning up for 2 years. So,
damn, it got to be like the purge out there. And let's see, another luxury car says, laugh out loud, not the WAP. That Donovan is crazy. He got the WAP drives him crazy. And Lauren, she said, the story still exists, how teenagers still sneaking out, going to the clubs and want to be grown. This is still ongoing. Yeah, but that's what, I hate to say it, but that's what young people do. They do what they ain't supposed to be doing. And those are the mistakes I'm talking about. And unfortunately, a lot of times, young people make mistakes they can't walk back and they end up in prison for the rest of their life or worse, so, but when you're young, I think you should be entitled to some mistakes as part of the learning and the growing process. So. Oh,
I just looked it up. Yeah, he's absolutely right. Oregon did that. It is like the purge. They've been up there fighting and for 2 years. All drugs are legal in Oregon. It's wow.
It's going to be like Escape from New York pretty soon.
It already is. Have you guys noticed that the news does not follow all the protesting that's going on in Portland and Oregon and all the whole state there? The white people are turned up there and they don't cover it because they don't want everybody to know.
Getting no good ideas, right? And Buchanan says, with all this free sunlight we get in the summertime, there's no reason that the tobacco company should make any money off of marijuana. Oh yeah, that's why, like Donovan said, it's part of the holdup because these big giant corporations are trying to figure out how to capitalize on it and snuff out the smaller man, which is why, like in California, it's like $26,000 just to apply, and that doesn't guarantee you'll get it, and you're not gonna get your money back if you don't.
Yeah, it's non-refundable application. So, and here's the sad thing about it: all in these liberal Democratic enclaves, they pick and choose who gets these applications, right? So guess what? You're my friend and you donate to my campaign. I'll give you one. I'll give you one. No, you can't have one because I don't know you. You didn't, and that's what's going on here in California.
Yeah, it's not a little man's game where you scrape together $26,000 and hope that you'll get it. This is a game for people who got that to burn. And if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. And Brian says, Shelly Ann Fraser Price ran a 10.63 in a 100-meter race faster than any time that Sha'carri Richardson has ran. Okay. Hey, Harold, how you doing? Black first, always. And Monet, what's going on with you? And Lauren says, Demetri, the point I'm making is that remember how the clubs would not check IDs and all sorts of drugs are being taken in the club and different rules there, too. Yeah, that made the experience for a lot of people more exciting.
Yeah, well, see, Lawrence, what you don't know is Demetri didn't go to those type of clubs. She was always on the base clubs. So, she was, she's an honorary Marine, okay?
Where the hell are my benefits? Okay, I need my Service Connect benefits. I think I qualify for at least 50%. Damn. Yeah, I went to the base, the clubs on the base. I had to be sponsored on, so it ain't like I snuck up in there. I went to the regular clubs too. That's how I met my baby daddy. Long story, I'll tell y'all one day. And let's see here. And Queen says, we can't let these people regulate our everything. Dang, that's why we got to get our own stuff.
Right. I mean, what do? We're behind enemy lines, dog. What do? We're behind enemy lines.
Right. And the Pioneer says the cannabinoids are the medical part of weed, and the THC is the part that gets you high. GMO weed nearly eliminates the cannabinoids and elevates the THC 300% to turn it into a drug. See, most people need to know that. Would they stop? You know, if they because they used to say weed is not addicting, but it sounds like it is now. And I would tend to think that it is. I mean, the way some of these people smoke it is like, God, leave.
No, it's not. It's not how they're smoking it. It's how they act after. We got people out here walking around like zombies, literally walking around like zombies.
Hey, forget that. Another luxury car just says, soft targets. What kind of weed y'all smoking?
Yeah, soft target is a military term for easy kill.
Yeah, that's that. It ain't the weed our parents and our grandparents. You know, I mean, y'all remember that movie, Reefer Madness? It was an old movie, like 1930s, I think it was.
Yeah, I still have it.
Yeah, when they were talking about the weed was making the young people go crazy and all of that, and that was more natural than it is now. Imagine if they was making a movie based off of what it's doing now. And Ridiculous Thoughts, how you doing? And you say Sha'carri had one job. A lot of people are feeling that way, like, damn. But again, something she'll never forget, and hopefully she gets the opportunity, she doesn't squander it again, right? And Dimitri, how you doing? You say, I'm not endorsing genetically altered weed. I'm sure Jesse Owens was stressed out as hell. Yeah, I'm sure he was, especially with all the stuff he was had going on, racism, and even more.
Meaning Hitler.
All of that, right? Just a little Hitler. And Leather Luxury Car says, I smoke all organic weed, so I don't know what the mess y'all talking about is. It ain't the organic weed. Now, the organic weed was probably, when our parents was doing it, and I'm 50, so that goes to tell you when my parents were doing it, like in the 70s, right? Like Cheech and Chong style. But this stuff now, ain't no telling. And let's see, Jafia says marijuana's legal in New Jersey yet. So it's saying it isn't or it is. He said, oh, it's not. Okay, so I see he said it's not legal in New Jersey yet. Okay. And Jeremy says, Coach said she's running world record time. Sha'carri can wear clown shoes.
Okay, well, let's deal with reality. Okay, let's deal in reality there. But I know where they were going with that. She's fast, like I said, but I mean, if she really wants to be fast, she could get there if she wanted to.
And the Pioneer says people keep beating up Donovan, up on Donovan over his hair comments, where what he says should be common sense. That's like saying black folks should be allowed to eat cornbread during a religious fast. I mean, Donovan, he's right. Listen, you know what they say about a broke clock, right? A broke clock is right at least twice a day. We'll give them that. I think this is your second time, so you ain't got no more times after that to be right. And Eric said, we know what sponsors do, right, Donovan? And Jeremy says it has, it's not the weed. Kids can use calculators in school. I wish we could use calculators when I was going to school. I mean, we could sometimes, but for the most part, you have to, use a cheater. Got his Casio calculator. Now it's like, hey, Siri, what's 25,000 divided by 20,000 carried over by and she give it to you.
The square root.
Don't ask me none of that shit because I couldn't tell you. I don't know how I passed math at all. Like I can count my money, but that's as far as it goes.
Well, I'm gonna tell you guys that get on airplanes, math is a serious deal because all it takes is one miscalculation. How did what's her name die in that thing? It was weight balance, Aaliyah, a weight balance issue. weight balance issue. Just if you're off 50 to 100 pounds from center of gravity, it's some serious shit. So I got up to trigonometry, but I had to re-educate myself after I left high school because I was miseducated in high school about math. So
I got up to statistics, and man, let me tell you how God good is to me. I'm so excited thinking about I could run around this living room because I took statistics. I had to take it for my degree. I had to take it twice. And both times I had a teacher, the same teacher. He says, listen, first day of class, I know a lot of y'all been out of school and haven't did math in years. And he says, I'm not going to fail anybody. Just turn in a homework. It doesn't even have to be right. Come to class, participate, and you go pass. I was like, ooh, Lord, thank you. Other than that, I'd have to cheat my way into that one. I understood some of it, but when we got to plugging the numbers in and all of that, I was like,
the bell curve. Always you start with the bell curve.
I thought that was a movie. And Lauren says, Demetra and Donovan, my service connect still being reviewed as we speak, trying to let this medical retirement sink in. I deserve some. I wasn't enlisted per se, but I put a lot of time in with the military.
Yes, she did. Lawrence, I retired as a 04 prior enlisted, got my 100%. Asked Demetra, 2012 when I retired from the military, I haven't worked since. Hell with that.
Boo. And let's see here.
And when you get to 100, all dental, all your medical, all paid for by the taxpayer.
Boo. And the Pioneer says, also, if you notice, a lot of violent crimes went up sky high in the past several years since so much of this GMO weed has been legalized, quote unquote, and promoted in society. This mess is running people crazy. I believe it. I totally believe it.
And then a lot of it, too, is the police not doing their damn jobs. So.
And Big Cannon says, back in the 80s, marijuana had 3% THC. Today is the highest I've ever seen. Damn, 35%. That's a lot. That's a huge uptick. And Art says, can she stop smoking? Hopefully she can. I would hope she would if it meant the difference between her having the life she has now.
Yeah, millions.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they cut it loose, sister.
Again, like Richard Pryor said, you could smoke all the drugs you want. Put the money in the bank and live off the interest, but make the money first.
Right.
Just make the money first, and that way you could just sniff up the interest if you want to.
Yep. And Mr. H says this weed is not chemical, synthetic, and toxic. That's why they're so addicted to it. It makes perfect sense to me. And the Pioneer says, come on, Queen, give us at least 30 more minutes. Maybe you and the King got a quick subject to talk about to get us to the hour mark. But we're past the hour mark now. We're at an hour and 30 minutes. But I will do you a solid. I do want to talk about Felicia Rashad. So I'm going to read the rest of these comments and then we'll switch over. And SCE Genius, how you doing? It says it's legal in the state she smoked it in after her mom died, which is Oregon.
See, again, a lot of us, we are misinformed. It is still illegal on the federal level, and she's part of an international body of rules that told her. So
I think we're making a point that it was legal in the state that she was in. So it wasn't, that she knew she wasn't supposed to do it for Olympic purposes, but to their point, it is legal in Oregon. It's just the facts. And hey, Janelle, how you doing? He says, where are you people getting the weed mix in this comment section? Oh, Lord, and listen, don't get it from me because I ain't never did it. I am ignorant when it comes to weed. I'm going to keep it real with you. Y'all say, are y'all in the chat? All you in the chat don't know anything about cannabis. Y'all just typing nonsense. Uh-oh. And the Pioneer says, Donovan, I know what you mean. I didn't learn jack in elementary or high school. My mother taught me how to read, write, and count before kindergarten. What else I know, I learned on my own after school.
I actually learned to speak reading comic books, and I have still some of those comic books today. Demetra, what's the most expensive comic book I had on my wall? I had to take it off because Demetra kept coming to my house.
You notice how he said had.
Yeah, Demetra kept coming over to the house. I had to lock it up.
I'm going to go to the bathroom. You don't have to follow me. I know where it is. Yeah, Donovan's got a comic book that's about $10,000. And I was like, word? And her sister was struggling in too. I was like, shit. F this friendship. I'm just like, all right. So let me transition to this real quick. So you guys know Bill Cosby is out of prison. Yay! He's out of prison due to a legal technicality. They weren't supposed to admit some of the things that was in his deposition into evidence for the criminal trial. So for the civil trial, he said some things, and they thought that it made him think that he had what do you call it? What's the term that not anonymity, but y'all know what
immunity.
Immunity. It made him think that he had immunity, that his, Fifth Amendment rights was good and all of that. But they lied. And so the Supreme Court there in Pennsylvania says, well, you guys did him dirty. We letting them out. And so Felicia Rashad took to her Twitter and basically says, finally, injustice was corrected or something like that. And thank God he's free or something like that. And so now Howard University, which is supposed to be a HBCU, predominantly black school, and I say predominantly because there's a whole lot of other people going there now. A lot of the alumni and some of the students want her fired because now she's the dean of the arts department there. And they want her fired for her support of her very dear friend that she's known probably well before the Cosby Show. But let's be stop at the Cosby Show. That was in the 80s. So that's 40 years or so almost at this point that she's known Bill Cosby. And so they want her to be fired from that position. Not that she needs the job, but they want her fired. So what are you guys' thoughts on that? Donovan, what do you think?
Fire her ass. Fire her. Fire her ass. Like Donald Trump. No, I think that's bullshit. If anybody, this woman worked with this man on two shows. So she knew him over a 10-year period. She knows this man better than we know the man. So I'm with her and I'm with Cosby because when we were talking about this a few years ago, people came for us and we stayed 10 toes down for Bill Cosby because we knew it was bullshit. I'm nothing against women that are being sexually assaulted or whatever, but you feminazis, the law is the law. And that is how it is. And a deal is a deal. And that is what the Supreme Court said. They made a deal with this man and they went against the deal. This man can't get 2 years of his life back. I mean, I hope he sues their ass for every dime that they have. Everybody that's involved, the district attorneys, they all get disbarred. Again, Mr. Cosby is always teaching us, stop taking these goddamn plea deals and just take your chances. I'd rather take the 50-50 chance and do it because even if you lose in the 50-50 chance at a court date, you still have a right to an appeal. So there it is.
Yep, absolutely. And let's see, let me get to these comments and then I'll give my opinion. And Chico Man 53, how you doing? He says, old girl is going to miss her first $1 million prize. Man. Hopefully, people will, wrap their arms around her and say, okay, we're not going to let you fall. You made a mistake, but, we're not going to forget about you and all that. Hopefully, I'm sure she's kicking herself over that. You know?
Hopefully she surrounds herself with positive people, too, that will lead her back to, that status.
Yeah, and Young Brown says, who knows what language we spoke before English? Hebrew? I'm just assuming that's the answer you're going to give.
Well, Demetra and I are Zulu, so
we are Zulu. So we're from the Zulu nation. Ronolo, that's Donovan's Zulu name, and mine's is Guguletu. So, and that's all I know. And Metasim Locals, I know I'm jacking it up. He says it's ridiculous that Mary is illegal marijuana. Maybe it's because of the government patent. That's why they just waiting. They waiting to get their hooks in it so that the corporate people get theirs first.
Well, you got to think about this too. Then think about this too. The very people that locked all these black people and brown people up for using the damn shit are the same people that are going to capitalize on us continuing to buy it and do all of that. Isn't that madness? It's
straight madness. And let's see here. Robin says, it's crazy how people are bullying her because of her friendship with Bill. And that's exactly what it is at this point. It's bullying. Like she can have her opinion. Like everybody doesn't have to share the same brain. She's allowed to say, that's my friend and I'm going to support him. I'm glad that he's out. I think he got a raw deal and leave her alone. Like one day, we love Claire Huxtable, Felicia Rashad. She has been revered as one of the most classiest women, Black women, to ever walk the planet Earth. I remember seeing a video and a picture of her too, and it says, remember when women were soft? And it referenced her, how she was soft-spoken and she just oozed elegance and grace and class. And she was that. Now all of a sudden, we want to tear her. And I'm not saying we, I'm saying some of us. And these are supposed to be scholars who are in a collegiate system, want to tear her down for having a free thought process.
Well, what about her peers? Aunt Viv came out of the woodworks after getting her butter biscuits, and she's trying to be relevant again. I mean, we can't stay on code as Black people. That's what kills me.
Yeah, Aunt Viv needs to stand down. Leave Felicia Rashad alone, because when she was getting dragged, Felicia didn't jump in on and say, yeah, you know, she this, that, and the other. When she had the butcher's block. No, you know, I'm sure she didn't like it, but yeah. Pioneer says this is where critical thinking comes into play. Two things can be right at the same time. I'm glad he's out of jail, but what he did was wrong. Not only did he drug those women, but he committed adultery. So yeah, you know, what's his wife's name?
Camille. It was the 60s and 70s. People were having orgies, doing drugs, whatever. These white women kept coming back. I mean, what about all that? When do we put the onus of responsibility on grown women? When do we do that?
Yeah, because I saw a clip where the lady Andrea Constand, the one that, you know, he went to jail over, she said she admitted he gave them to her, and he gave me 3 little blue pills, and I asked her were they organic,
and he told her they were Quaaludes.
Yeah, and she took them anyway. And the interviewer was like, "And you trusted him?" And she goes, "I trusted him." So it's like, where was the? You admitted that you knew he was giving you Quaaludes, so I'm confused.
And I'm very sure she knew that this was a married man. I'm very sure she knew that this man lived in this house with his wife. When do we put the onus on grown women? I'm not talking about young girls. I'm talking about grown women. Where's the responsibility?
She knew. And Tanaya says the university said, although they disagree with her statement, she still have a job. So yes, they actually put the statement out, I think before really all of this got a lot of traction. They said that we stand by her. She's entitled to her opinion. And they also said she did make a following tweet that says she's not condoning sexual violence, not paraphrasing, or anything like that, but she stands with her friend. She's glad he's out. So, but you're right. The university says we're not getting in the middle of that. And Chico Man 53 says you can't have an opinion. Apparently not, you know. And Robin says it was announced earlier that some of those women are talking with their lawyers to see if they can take him back to court. They can't be tried for that again. It said that they could probably try to appeal to the Supreme Court of the land, but they ain't hearing that. They hear less than 10% of cases that come to them, and that's probably not one of them. Because you got to remember, it was a mistrial in 2017, and the overzealous prosecution wanted to retry him in 2018, which is when they found him guilty. Now he's, you know, it's been overturned. I mean, the Supreme Court is probably going to be like, listen, take this L and go live your life, you know. And let's see here. How you doing, Demetria? And Queen Candace says, go Cosby, gotta go, salute y'all, go. All right, now, take care. And Jafia says, Aramaic is Semitic language and the first known language. Y'all come on with the knowledge, okay?
Oh, and by the way, Clarence Thomas, Uncle Clarence Thomas up in the Supreme Court said that we need to decriminalize marijuana as a drug and stuff like that. So for him to come out to say that, because that nigga never does nothing.
Can you believe it? Right, I was shocked when I heard that too. Like, and Harness says a lot of people are making the Cosby situation a black quote unquote thing, as if some of those dozens of women he victimized weren't black too. We know he was targeted unfairly, but that doesn't mean he wasn't wrong. Yeah, he was wrong for stepping out on his wife, and that's what I said. I think that's really the one thing he's guilty of is screwing over his wife. But then, you know what? Maybe Camille knew. Maybe she's like, you know, I got the money. I mean, Bill Cosby.
Didn't Marvin Gaye and Frankie Beverly share Marvin Gaye's young wife at the time in the early 80s? There was a book on it. She wrote a book and said she slept with both of them. Marvin Gaye used to throw her out there because that got him off, seeing his wife have sex with his buddies and friends.
I ain't never heard that, but I mean, we don't know what Camille knew. You know, Bill Cosby and Camille are worth over $400 million. Sure, she overlooked a whole lot of stuff. You know, maybe she went and bought her a man or two. Not to trivialize what's going on, of course. And I'm gonna say locals, just to keep it simple. He says the patent shows that Mary has medicinal purposes. Yeah, and a lot of people who smoke it, you know, will say that. And Javai says she took them, then went back to his home for a few times after that. See, that's the other part people don't want to talk about. It ain't like that was the first time. She kept going back. She kept going back. And never mind that he settled with her for $3.3 million. Then all of a sudden you want to make it a criminal thing?
Right.
What's really going on?
And the only reason that they rushed to prosecution because the statute of limitation was running out. That's the only reason they did that, because it was their last chance. It's the law. You know?
Yeah,
you know, for me though, like I said, I'm not saying people have a story, but why do I'm not downing any victims out there, but to me, it's kind of suspect when you wait 40 years to come out and say something about something that happened to you, because to me, wouldn't that be making you a part of the problem when you could have prevented another young lady from being in a similar situation?
Well, one of the things they say, and it's, you know, there's some truth to it. A lot of people, sexual crimes or violence or assaults, a lot of times they don't say nothing because they don't think they'll be believed, or, you know, for a whole host of other reasons. So it's a lot of people don't talk, you know.
I think that they need to start coming forward, you know, when the incident initially happens within a reasonable amount of time.
That's why they don't have a statute of limitation on children that were sexually assaulted, because, you know, they don't know what there is to know. And a lot of children don't tell because maybe they've been threatened, their parents have been threatened, they're scared. And so they don't have a statute of limitation, because when they get older, they might have some courage to finally say what happened to them. So they're, you know, I get it. And let's see here. And then Pioneer says, I don't want us to get into the habit of pointing at Caucasians and saying, well, they do it too, quote unquote. Every time our people are caught doing wrong to each other, wrong is wrong, people. No, absolutely. And no, I don't think we should, you know, preface it by saying, oh, well, they do it too, because you're right, it is still wrong. But I think when we say, well, I know when I say or think about it, it's like, well, they do it too, but this is their system. They wrote the laws to benefit them. The laws were never written to benefit us, so they're going to do stuff and get away with it that we'll never get away with, right? And Robin says, I never felt that Bill Cosby was guilty of drugging or raping none of those women. Cheating on his wife, yes, but not drugging and raping. Yeah, I never thought that either. I think I say most, because, you know, I don't want to be absolute, but most of those women knew what they were doing. Bill Cosby is, you know, one of the biggest movie stars ever. And he's got a lot of pull, position, power, clout. And a lot of those women said that they went over because they were getting acting classes, or he was going to help put them on a TV show. One of them, the lady who played Mrs. Minever, is a popular episode. She was the one that was going into labor. She said that he sexually assaulted her at his house or something like that. And then she went on to go try out for the role and got the role. So it's like, man sexually assaulted you, and then you went and tried out for the role, and you acted with this man. So I'm not saying it didn't happen. It's just bizarre. It's weird. And Jafia says Clarence smoked more weed than any of us. Just look at his constant ugly red eyes. You might be on to something. And Demetra says hanging with heathens will get you every time. And that's the story. Bill Cosby has a bigger lesson, and that's leave them white girls alone. Chico Man 53 says, so if they knew about the drugs and they took it anyway at 2 a.m., then what? I just want to clarify this to y'all. I want to clarify this. This is going to sound sucky, but even if a woman goes to a man's house at 2 in the morning, I'm not trying to be vulgar, okay? This is for educational purposes. Let him, I'll say penetrate. I'll be cleaning up a little bit. And she says no. That still means no. That still means no.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I just want to put the head in. That's all.
And then when I tell you to take it out, you got to take it out. I know that. Listen, I know that's a lot of gray area.
No. My mom told me, even in mid-stroke. Now, this is my mom. Remember, I told you guys my mom was in the Army, so she talks to her sons like men. You know, my mom, there's no easiness with my mom when she talks to her sons, okay? She talks to us real. She said, even if you're in mid-stroke and a girl says no, get up out of there and go.
Dust your ego off and your thing and keep it pushing. And tonight says, Nambia Christine Mboma, I hope I said that right. I know I didn't. Said Patrice Masalingi, I'm jacking those up, have been withdrawn from the 400-meter race at the Olympics by World Athletics. They're not classified as women because they look the way they look African sisters. So are they women or not? See, that's what I'm saying. I be getting confused with this stuff. Are they women or not? And the Pioneer says, okay, so you also say not to be read out loud. And Young Brown says, and you're replying to the Pioneer. And Jeremy, you say, full responsibility keeps saying when the grown women are black. Shout out to Carolyn Bryant. Right. Carolyn Bryant is still running her ass around here at the age of 80-something after she lied on Emmett Till. Still running around and admitted she lied. She admitted, you know what? I didn't tell the truth, guys.
Well, Janice Dickinson admitted she lied. I mean, there was a lot of those witnesses that admitted that they, inflated the story.
And she had something to say the other day. Talking about how this was like, shut up. You admitted you lied. You lied on it. And then the Andrea Constant chick, the one that he got in trouble for, there was witness testimony saying that when she and another co-worker were off at an away game because Andrea was a coach or something at Temple that Bill Cosby helped her get that job, the co-worker said Andrea was like, it'd be easy to set up a celebrity and get it and get paid. But she denied she said it. So, she white. So they don't.
Moral of the story, fellas, leave them white girls alone.
Yeah. The Pioneer says, Queen, thank you for dropping good game. No means no, period. I know it's hard. No pun intended. But what you're telling them might keep them out of jail. It doesn't matter what you think or feel. No means no. Yeah, like I said, I know that's a hard thing to think about, right? Like, we've all been there, and it's like, I couldn't imagine saying no. But some people say no. And if you hear that, then be like, oh, and just leave, right? Because anything else, and you'll never, how can I say this? You probably won't be believed. But then she tell you no. Yeah, but I was already, and we was already. Did she tell you no? She told you no. Then it's rape. So it's like, that's why it would behoove us all to, and you can never be 100% sure, but make sure you know who you're doing that with. And if you got something to lose, which is true with a lot of athletes and celebrities with money, I never for the life of me understand why they just jump into bed with any old woman. It's like, this lady clearly just got off of a bus to get to your hotel. You don't think that she may, get you caught up?
It's driving me out of my mind. That girl.
Right.
Big button to smile.
Right. Exactly. And Jafia says the man, y'all, wow, the Constant and her mother were said to be very racist, and they set Bill up. Yep, I heard that too. It was a setup, but her skin got her in. And tonight says yes, they're women, but look very strong. And now swimming caps are banned for natural black hair. They call the soul caps, not my words, Olympics. I've seen racial undertones going on in Tokyo. Yeah, Tokyo is not with the stuff when it comes to black people. It's just the fact. They ain't really feeling black people like that. But I mean, if they look very strong, I mean, are they women? There's a lot of, Wendy Williams, she looked, well, that's questionable too.
That's
what I'm saying. I didn't say it.
WNBA has a lot of G League players in it.
You can look strong in the face and still anatomically be a woman, I would imagine. And Pioneer says, a lot of women say stop and no while they're grinning and smiling and not putting up any type of resistance. That's what throws some dudes off, but legally speaking, no means no. Even if she's playing, but like, all right, sister, I'm out.
Even if she's playing in a situation like that where my freedom is at stake, you can play all you want. I'm out. The minute you say no, I'm out of there.
I'm out. Yeah, nah, I'm good. It ain't worth it. Being in jail for something like that. Unfortunately, there's a lot of men in there. It's like, well, wait a minute. Everything was going good, and I thought, and just be careful who you lay down with. That's all I can say. And Pioneer says, thank you for the show, King and Queen. Thank you for finally getting the super chat together. I told y'all I was going to do it. But at 50 years old, I still do be procrastinating. I'm working on it. Maybe I'll get it together before I die. And Jafia says, did anyone else see the white swimmers with the braid caps on? I did see that, yeah. I saw them. Like, what was that about, right? And Young Brownie says, Isaac Jacob. All right. Well, anyway, we are at the end of this. I got to all of the comments. Can you believe it? I should get a medal for doing that, right?
No, you're in jail right now. You don't get shit.
Oh, right. I'm in Facebook jail. It's a blessing in disguise. I'm going to use it to my advantage for some. I don't know. It's meant to be for whatever reason. So anyway, y'all, we're going to get out of here. And Gallon, how you doing? He says, man, I want to see Demetra in those tracks.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Demetra will walk around the track and there'd be butt prints all behind her.
Well, you know what? I've been working on that. I'm working on getting it a little smaller because, gravity is like, gravity is not my friend. So I've, been going around the track myself. So it won't be much back there in a couple of months. I hope not anyway. Well, I want to let me shut up. Anyway, Jafia says, you did great, Demetra. I appreciate that. And Donovan does all right too, Give him a little pat on the head. So anyway, y'all, we're going to get out of here. I think we're going to be on the War Zone tonight. I can share his, but I just can't go live. So I'll share from my Facebook page. You guys can catch the 5-Star General on the War Zone with the 5-Star General on YouTube. If you guys want to catch the show, we usually continue Free Flow Friday. So if that goes on, that's what we'll be talking about. So anyway, we're going to get out of here. I'm going to get something to eat. Donovan's going to get something to eat. And if you guys have enjoyed the super chat for whatever reason, we do have a Cash App or a PayPal and a Venmo. And thank you for everybody who has joined and sent money and everything. I greatly appreciate it. Every little bit does help keep the show going because there is some cost to it. I got to buy Donovan a piece of chicken every once in a while. I'm just kidding. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. And PD Chicago, he says, love you, Demetra. Keep doing what you're doing. I love you too. And Demetra says, peace and love, family. All right, y'all. We are out of here. See y'all later. Peace.